Welcome back to Vault Hunters. Today I want to finish my base. I've been working on this base for a few months now. I've got a couple of builds in, a nice little garden in the back, and I've got a whole bunch of technical stuff hooked up throughout all the different builds as well. So a lot of stuff is farming things and getting me all of my materials. But every project has to come to an end, and I think today is going to be the last build day. I've broken down all the tasks that I need to do into 3 main categories. These are going to be infrastructure, buildings, and interiors. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do today, so let's go ahead and jump into the infrastructure first. I'm going to start with lining out all of the paths, and that way I can kind of get an idea of exactly where I want everything to be placed. And I want to curve them in and out just so it's not super straight pathways. Everything should go relatively straight, but with a little bit of a curve in each road. Okay, there is the basic idea, and there is all the roads in path blocks. Now that I have the outline for all of the pathways in, I can go ahead and take out the path blocks, and then I can come back through with all of the materials that I want the roads to be made out of and fill things in. For the main pathways, I'm going to use a mix of textured cobblestone and deep slate. I'm also going to make some dirt side paths with the same technique, but with mossy and coarse dirt and path blocks. Now that I have all of the pathways put in, I can go ahead and start doing a bit of detailing with some grass. I kind of just want to have little patches here and there along the pathway. It doesn't need to be all over the place, but just a few of them here and there so that there's a bit of texture when you're walking down the path. I'm going to bone meal a few of them into 2 tall grass and add in a few ferns here and there. I think I'm pretty happy with how the pathways have turned out. Now I can go ahead and move on to the fences. I'm going to go for a pretty simple design for the fences using stripped logs, and then I'm going to connect them using some leaves and some flowering leaves along with some fencing. And then for the gates, I'm going to clear out a couple of sections, put in a few fences, put some leaves on the bottom, and some gates. And lastly, I'll just drop in a few lanterns on each side, and there we go. It's alright. I might change it later. As for the interior fences, I'm just going to go with a little bit more of a simple design using dark oak. And I'm going to use those same materials to build out the horse arena behind the barn here. I think I'm going to go ahead and just leave the arena just 1 block tall. That way you can see a little bit better out of it when you're riding around. And I also want to replace the grass in here with sand because it's a little bit more realistic to what horses would be running on in a big, open arena like this. I'm going to blend the grass on the outside with a little bit of coarse dirt and mossy dirt. Just mix a couple of those in until about the first block into the arena. Now for the first few layers on the inside, I'm going to mix mossy dirt, coarse dirt, and some dirty sand. I'm going to do 1 layer with just a little bit of mossy dirt involved, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with just a mix of regular sand and dirty sand. And there we go. Got myself a little horse arena now. Okay, last piece of infrastructure I need to put in is the wheat field. To get started, I'll need to do a little bit of terraforming. Then I can put in all of the crops and pathways and build myself a little tractor to work the fields. Okay, now that I've got all the base infrastructure in place, we can move on to putting in a couple more buildings. I'm going to start things off with a small gazebo in front of the house. Then I'm going to build a small hay barn over by the arena. Next up, I'll need a little garage for my tractor. I'm also going to build a small old fishing hut. And then I'm going to build myself a little boathouse and a little canal boat where I can put some fast travel stuff later. And there we go. Just like that, I've got all of the structures in place, at least all that I want for now. And this place is really starting to become a full cohesive base. The last thing I need to do today is do a little bit of detailing here and there. There's some interior work I need to do, and then I want to come through and just do a few bit more details, and then I need to detail the pasture as well. The first interior I want to work on is the windmill. Right now all I have in here is a couple of light fixtures and some logs across the ceiling, so I'm pretty much working with an empty canvas on this one. I'll start by clearing out the old ceiling, then I'm going to add the first floor where a chute will fill sacks with flour. Next is the stone floor with a big millstone where you can pour wheat grain. I'm also going to add some rope pulleys to hoist sacks of fresh grain to the bin floor and the dust floor on top. will house my villagers and some gear work. Okay, moving on. The next interior I want to put together is the 3rd floor of my house. I already have the 2nd floor and everywhere else filled out. The 2nd floor has a couple of bedrooms, one big bedroom, and then one for like 4 different kids. And then on the 3rd floor, I'm going to do a big master bedroom with a small little nursery on the side. So it'll be a pretty similar floor plan, but instead of 2 bedrooms, it's going to be one big one. First step is to line up all of the walls. Then I'm going to build the master bedroom with a simple bed design, a dresser, and a work area. Then attached in a side room is going to be the nursery. I definitely like how this floor is looking. It fits with the theme of the rest of the house, but it's unique in its own way. I'm pretty happy with the bed design. I really like the carpets for the blanket and then just some snow layers for the pillow. It makes a nice little frame with the trapdoors on the bottom. And I think there's definitely a few different ways you can iterate on this with different colors. You know, you could use the mossy carpets or different things like that. As for the work side of the room, we just got the little desk, a little book, some extra books on the side, a quill, and of course our bookshelf. And then if we go over to this side room here, it'll lead us into the nursery with our little baby. Oh, sorry. Oops. Oh, is there any way to heal him? There we go. Okay, yeah, so that's the nursery. He's got a little mobile above his bed. He's got a little tiny chest and a painting of a monkey, a little ghost toy on the side here. Yeah, everything a baby goblin, or gollum, you know, baby, same thing. Anything a little one could want. And that pretty much makes the entire house complete. Now, every single floor is decorated. It's actually taken me months to completely finish this one build, but it's done. Moving on to the next, I guess. But now I need to decorate the inside of the small builds I just made. I still need to decorate the boathouse, the garage for the tractor, and the fishing hut. The boathouse is going to be full of tools to repair broken boat parts, and the garage will also have a bunch of tools and some tire marks. The fishing hut is going to have a bunch of fish and equipment, and upstairs will be all of the dry, cured fish. At this point, I just need to detail the pasture with some dead spots from the horses eating, and I'm also going to add in some similar detailing on the edges of the pathways all around the farm. In this episode, the farm has gone from this to this. I am very happy with how this base has turned out, and I think it might be the first time I've ever fully completed a base. And I don't usually say it, but this video was a ton of work, so if you made it this far, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for new videos weekly. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.